Ladies and gentlemen, Mitch McConnell absolutely defeated Nancy Pelosi. Absolutely decimated Democrats. Well, actually, Trump won again. The resistance lost again. You cheat Bernie Sanders. You set up and frame Trump on a ridiculous, absurd notion that he tried to work with Russia to hack the DNC to inform the country that Bernie Sanders was cheated, thus giving Clinton the popular vote, but losing swing states and forcing Debbie Wasserman Schultz to resign, which, by the way, Bernie backed up this story, which is why they'll never let him even get close to winning. Well, one of the reasons why, in addition to the fact that they would just simply never let him win ever anyway. But this is a National Review article. Pelosi allows Democratic debate to proceed, but hurts Sanders, Warren, and Klobuchar. So she lost. She's giving the articles of impeachment. And the Senate trial is going to be around, the 20th or 21st of this month, right before Iowa, which is hilarious because this is a National Review article. Sanders, Warren, and Klobuchar will be stuck in Washington for the trial in the crucial days leading up to Iowa, possibly past New Hampshire, while Joe Biden and Pete Buttigieg will be on the campaign trail wooing voters. Now, I can imagine Pete Buttigieg winning Iowa. Bernie might win Iowa, but then they'll find a creative way to cheat him. I explained that on H.A. Goodman's other channel, so check that out. That's an important segment. But they're spinning this already. This was an absolute political defeat. It was a political victory for Trump, as usual. But MSNBC, Pelosi gets results by withholding impeachment articles. No, she didn't. John Bolton was always trying to testify. They did not give him a subpoena to testify in the House. Okay, Bolton was like, I'm here. If you want me, I'm here. And they're like, we don't know. They're like, hey, you want to come? If you don't want to, no problem. They don't have anything. There's no direct evidence. There's a 538 article below in the description section. There's also an Associated Press article. There's no direct evidence. Both articles below in the description section explain the Democratic Party does not have any direct evidence. Here, I'll read you them like I usually do. There is no direct evidence, and President Zelensky stated there was no quid pro quo. Democrats have fabricated yet another political defeat for themselves. Okay? They don't have any issues they're running on. There are no issues that they're running on. Okay? There's nothing that they're running on where they can say, oh, well, we'll do better in the economy because the economy, there's record low unemployment. 5 million people plus have been lifted out of poverty. The poverty rate has decreased substantially. The stock market is up. So listen to this. The stock market is up and poverty is being decreased, and the unemployment rate is dwindling, is at an all-time low. But here, really quickly, I'm the only person you'll ever see wearing the No Malarkey Biden shirt. Okay? He's not going to become nominee. This is going to be a collector's item. Clinton will become nominee. Okay? Clinton's going to become nominee. Just because you haven't heard Madam Secretary say, why aren't I 50 points ahead, doesn't mean that, she's just going to campaign for Elizabeth Warren or Biden or Bernie. Yeah, she's going to allow Bernie to win because she still doesn't have a secret agreement that Donna Brazile wrote about in Politico. Anyway, here, Democrats' case against Trump, on the other hand, doesn't have that one key piece of evidence directly linking Trump to a quid pro quo. This is, do Democrats have enough evidence for impeachment? 538, December 2nd, 2019. Okay. And, quote, judgments are not intended to apply that we have proof that shows something to be a fact. Oh, that's the that's the ODNI report, which is the complete nonsense that all of this is predicated upon, all of their fantasies. High confidence in a judgment does not imply that the assessment is a fact or a certainty. Such judgments might be wrong. That's pertaining to the DNC hack. They're not even certain it even happened. But here, the Associated Press, quote, yet the impeachment witness accounts left one prominent hole that offered a lifeline for Trump and his GOP allies. None of the witnesses could personally attest that Trump directly conditioned the release of the $400 million in military aid on a Ukrainian announcement of investigations into former Vice President Joe Biden and the Democratic National Committee. They have nothing. But MSNBC has spun this now. Pelosi gets results by withholding impeachment articles. Nancy Pelosi is ready to move forward. Oh, she's ready? Oh, good. Oh, because it was her timetable. It wasn't the fact that even Dianne Feinstein was like, would you hurry up? If it's not important, then don't give the articles. Nancy Pelosi is ready to move forward with transmitting the articles of impeachment. Her strategy of holding articles seems to have produced results. No, it hasn't. As John Bolton offered to testify, and now Susan Collins says she's working with other Republicans to get witnesses before the Senate. Susan Collins would always be working with other Republicans to undermine Trump. So that's nothing new. Secondly, Susan Collins is actually okay with having no witnesses at first, which was a defeat for Pelosi. They have nothing, so they need something to tell the media, to tell the New York Times, the Washington Post, MSNBC, CNN, to show them during the impeachment trial. They have nothing. They have no direct evidence. Nothing. So they're going to Bolton and they want Mulvaney. Okay, what are they going to tell people that the four scholars, one of whom said, well, Trump technically hasn't been impeached until the articles get to Mitch McConnell? So Bolton always wanted to testify. They didn't ask him. They didn't demand that he testify in the House because they know that they have nothing with him. So he's just one person that they can hype up as saying, well, this is the turning point. With Trump for 3 years. I mean, if you're part of the resistance, if you're a Democrat, if you're part of the No Malarkey bus tour, by the way, get a good glimpse. Nobody is wearing this shirt. Nobody, not a person on the planet but me. This is satire. Okay, I have my I'm with her shirt that I've purchased long before everybody else. Clinton's going to be nominee. Of course, I'm voting for Trump. This will be the second election I accurately predict. And in this case, nobody on the planet, aside from Steve Bannon, but I've been saying this since 2017, nobody on the planet is even thinking that Clinton's going to run. Clinton will run. Who cares when she runs? She could run the day of the convention, run through the doors into the convention. That'll be the running. And she'll become nominee. Who cares how it happens? This is a political machine run by both Bill and Hillary. Okay? There's a reason you've never seen this shirt. There's a reason. But anyway, Pelosi's gambit. All right. So basically, Senators Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren are going to be stuck voting against Trump in the impeachment trial, or that nothing's going to happen. Trump's going to win that. They're going to be Iowa. Bernie might not win Iowa. He's tied now, but it'll probably be Buttigieg. Okay, but I don't think it's going to be Biden, but who cares? Clinton's going to be a nominee. But the hilarious thing is that all of this paves the way for Clinton. Do you understand? When it happens, whenever whether it's the day before the Democratic convention or a day before Super Tuesday, I don't care. Oh, what about the filing dates? She used private servers with top secret intel. Do you think she cares about the filing dates? She deleted 30,000 emails without government supervision, and she was able to use servers outside the United States government that theoretically the intelligence community had no access to and no knowledge of for 4 years. I think that she doesn't care about filing dates, and also she signed a secret agreement with the DNC where she actually hired people. So something tells me she can just, there's a bylaw someplace, and then Democrats and media will be like, it's right in the bylaw, and then they'll just move on. Anything, look here, MSNBC said that Pelosi won. They can't lose. That's actually bad. Michael Jordan stated the best thing that ever happened, the reason that he is such a champion and winner, is that he when he lost, he learned. When he lost, he learned. You learn when you lose. Okay? Losing in life is oftentimes a positive. You can make it, you can turn it into a positive. Not a catastrophic loss, obviously, but, losing at work or losing in a game or sports, or even, you break up in a relationship. You can learn for the future, okay? So, but Democrats don't learn. They don't know what learning is. And Mitch McConnell's won. I mean, Mitch McConnell's like, oh, Nancy, do you know why the people of Kentucky
call me the 7-10 split. You know why, Nancy? Because you just got munched. That's right. They call me the 7-10 split not because I'm limber and I'm able to do the splits. You should see it sometime. They call me the 7-10 split because I do the impossible, Nancy. You just got into the hornet's nest. You got stung. Messing with me is like messing with a room full of pit vipers. You better get ready to come to play. You wanted to decide the title, Nancy. You got khabibed. I'm the people's champ, Nancy, not only of Kentucky, but of America across the United States. The McConnell name is known, Nancy Pelosi, as somebody you don't want to anger or mess with. They call me the baby-faced assassin for a reason, Nancy. When you get into my grip, you never come out. All right? I don't know how that sounds, but you know what I mean. You thought that keeping the articles of impeachment would be a victory, but I turned it into a loss. You lost big time. You got munched. You lost so bad. You got moted, munched, burned, faced, and scratched. McConnell out.
McConnell won. Trump won. Oh, by the way, thank God, no war. Thank God with Iran. I know that there's so many disgruntled, unhappy, resisting liberals and progressives who basically said, "Oh my God, there's gonna be a military confrontation," and then there is none. The wide scale. There's tremendous tragedy. Tremendous tragedy with that airliner. But they said that the apocalypse was going to take place with the United States of America and Iran. It didn't happen. Okay, so Democrats and liberals and media and many progressives were wrong again. Then when he strikes a deal with Iran, where actually ballistic missile testing isn't allowed, because 23 tests were allowed under President Obama's brilliant deal, and military sites were off limits for inspectors. That was a fantastic deal. Oh my God. And then $100 billion, and then they say, well, it was only $55 billion of liquid assets. Whatever. Whether they found different ways to utilize the other billions of dollars, even $55 billion. If you unfreeze, if it's unfrozen, and it becomes available, then yeah, in a way, President Obama gave them the money. But the obsessive, maniacal, fact checkers that never existed during President Obama's tenure. They're like, President Obama never gave them the money. Well, who cares? That's not the point. The point was the sanctions kept that money frozen. Now, what do you think they're using $150 billion or $55 billion or $300 billion according to foreignpolicy.com or $55 billion according to factcheck.org? What do you think they're using the money for? A program. You think just because they signed the deal and liberals everywhere in media were happy and it was a multilateral deal with France and the UK and everyone signed it and President Obama presided over a fantastic deal? You think they weren't continuing their program? Of course they were. They were actually testing missiles. So they were telling you hey, we're continuing it, but we're not committed. Don't worry. So Trump was 100% right. And that's not an example of, when people say, oh, he's not an anti-war, but he is. Compared to Democrats, he's totally anti-war. He didn't destroy a country like Libya. Democrats did. Okay? And a little something. I've come to realize something, and this is actually really important to my 14-minute crowd. You'll enjoy this. I know a great many wonderful people who have derangement issues pertaining to Trump, and I'm kind of thinking about, well, what makes them have these derangement issues? What makes millions of people because the economy is great. Foreign policy is infinitely better. It's Trump's personality coupled with a loss of political influence and power. That's what it is. It has nothing to do with the presidency of Donald Trump. It has to do with the fact that they lost, and their influence, whether it's in the Supreme Court, whether it's in federal courts, whether it's in politics, in foreign policy, in economic policy, their influence is waning. Their ability to shape America's future has decreased substantially during Trump's presidency, and they're lashing out. That's why the whole country. That's why whether it's Jussie Smollett or you have whether it's that the CNN, settling with Sandman, that was amazing. God bless him and his family. But whether it's Hollywood trying to pretend that they didn't love Trump, during years and years of The Apprentice, or how many cameos, how many times was Trump referenced in music videos and songs? I mean, Trump was admired by celebrities. Okay, then they pretend to go after and against Trump, but they're doing it because it's the stark realization not only that they lost, but that their moment to influence America's future is no longer there anymore. President Obama's 8 years was not a success in terms of changing America, because it was an extension of the Bush administration in many ways. President Obama could have been a transformative president, an absolute transformative president. He could have. He could have removed soldiers from Iraq and Afghanistan. He could have done a lot of things, but he didn't. He didn't. He drank Flint water and said, "Oh yeah, safe to drink." Yeah. He ended up toppling a government and destroying a country in Libya. There's a lot of things that he could have been a transformative president, and then President Trump wouldn't have won, because they would have said, "Well, if Clinton's going to continue this new paradigm of politics," but it didn't happen. Now you have President Trump presiding over 5 million plus Americans being lifted out of poverty. That is the Democratic Party's Achilles heel. Nobody's talking about that. The numbers are below. Factcheck.org, 2016. Census, 43.1 million people in poverty. Okay? 2016, final numbers. Okay? And then NPR. Census found that 38.1 million people in 2018 were poor. From 43.1 to 38.1. And we haven't even gotten to 2019 yet. It's probably a lot more. So you're looking at lowest unemployment rate. The unemployment, and this is why, you have comedians and you have Hollywood, they're like, "Oh my God, Trump." The unemployment rate for Hispanic and Latino men is below the national average. Go to the St. Louis Fed, their charts, you can see. So President Trump is presiding over a transformation in American political life. Okay. Now they're not going to. Democrats would erase the First and Second Amendment, and then they would erase the Electoral College, and they would pack the courts. They're the ones who are changing norms and ripping apart the Constitution. Literally, they want to rip apart the Constitution. Literally. They just want to do away with things. They impeached Trump on a phone conversation. Okay. So, give me your thoughts below. Impeachment has been an unmitigated disaster for Democrats, and it's just going to continue to get worse, and it's all for Clinton. Look, Clinton's husband got impeached. Bill Clinton got impeached. This is payback. Still ain't going to work. Give me your thoughts. Check out H.A. Goodman's other channel right this second. They lost an impeachment. They're going to lose in the trial. Clinton will lose to Trump again. Enjoy this No Malarkey shirt, because I am literally the only person on planet Earth wearing it right now. Nobody is wearing Biden's shirt. Why? Because Biden has zero chance to become Democratic Party nominee. He's losing money. He stated he wants a Republican vice president. He promised to be a one-term president, which basically, that's nobody's ever gone into the election saying I'll only be a one-term president. It's like a failure. President Obama also stated he would intervene to stop Bernie Sanders, but Biden told coal miners to learn to code. Okay? Told coal miners to learn to code. So I don't think he's going to get votes in Pennsylvania. Give me your thoughts below. Check out H.A. Goodman's other channel. I'm growing that channel. Every segment I do on this channel, look for a new one on H.A. Goodman's other channel. We're on our way to 20,000 subs on H.A. Goodman's other channel, and we've been stuck at 149,000 forever on this channel, but we're almost at 150. We were at 150, it went down or whatever. We'll get to 150, and we'll get to over 200. Okay, because I'm the only person who's stating what's going to take place. Clinton is going to be nominee. It ain't going to be Biden.